Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also pulls some of the best forgotten questions from the past. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and that's right, it's another Lost Questions episode, which I really actually enjoy these, because if you guys have ever followed my live streaming I did, especially like last month, in the month of May, you got a chance to see a little behind the scenes of everything I did, including filming of Monday's video, which will also show you that I record, like I tell you guys, way more questions that ever make it on the show. So these lost question episodes are great where I can go back and hit the questions I've already answered for you guys that I've seen reappear in current questions. So I do pay attention. Remember guys, I read every single question down there in the comment section because your questions really do matter. And I'm telling you, I honestly do read every single one every single week. So get your question on the show, like I said before, in every single episode, put it in the comment section below and vote up your favorites. Also make your question good. Not always is it the ones, now I do like to pick the ones that have the highest votes, but not always. Sometimes I dig back deep and find some really well-crafted questions. So the more thought you put into it, the better chance you have on the show. Of course, and like I said, voting up those favorites do help. Oh, before we get into questions really quick, don't forget Palco is still continuing their 30 days of giveaways here in their 30th anniversary celebration. So every single day they're doing that. Make sure you guys are heading over to Palco's Facebook page to get entered in there every single day for something really cool before this month ends up, the month of June 2016. If you're watching after that, the contest is probably over, and I'm really sorry, but there's some other great new Mondays videos you can watch. But anyway, guys, enough of me hammering on. I'll be ready to dive into what you're really here for, and that is your questions in the Palco mail call. Dustin Chaplin writes, "Hey John, just bought a Tippmann M4 Airsoft gun and was wondering if I could use a CO2 tank with it instead of HPA. Any thoughts?" The Tippmann M4 engine is actually the exception to the rule when it comes to HPA guns. Most HPA guns, or all of them, require an HPA tank with a built-in regulator on top, and it's usually, there's a couple different versions, I won't dive too deep into that, but you have to have that, and then it runs into a regulator and then runs into the gun. The Tippmann is designed to run off CO2 direct. In fact, the Tippmann is a dual setup. You can actually put a 12-gram cartridge in the magazine, install it, and actually have a fully self-contained HPA system, or you can run a remote line. It actually has a wide operating range. So yes, this is the one gun you actually can hook CO2 externally up to. Now, do not do that with any other airsoft gun that is an HPA system. None of the other brands will be able to do it because Tippmann is taking their technology they used in the Tippmann 98 from the paintball world. That's how they're actually able to get that CO2 direct into it. But yeah, the short answer is absolutely. If you guys want to run CO2 on the Tippmann, that's actually what it's built for, as well as high pressure air. Gamer 101 writes, "Do you know what GI stands for?" GI actually stands for General Issue. It's kind of a military term, basically stuff they issue to the regular old army, and it goes way, way back, many World War II at least, perhaps even World War I. I'm sure you guys who are history buffs out there, especially military history, will actually be able to give me some great answers down there in the comment section. But yeah, GI does stand for General Issue, and it just kind of infiltrated the world of airsoft. You've obviously seen it in shops like Airsoft GI and GI gear, and then you've even seen companies like Oakley kind of take a spin on it and make it Oakley SI, which is standard issue. So yeah, it's kind of one of those commonplace terms all over the airsoft and military world, of course. Danny Dang writes, "How do you feel about Levelcap Gaming's statement about why he quit Airsoft?" So I know Levelcap's been incredibly popular in the Airsoft world. In fact, I watch a lot of his videos on the gaming side as well as Airsoft. I used to when he used to make them. And I did watch this video you guys are in reference. If not, you guys should definitely go check it out. Why he stopped doing Airsoft. I think he had a lot of valid reasons in there, and he really went to a lot of explanation. Gave like 6 or 7 different reasons of why he quit. But I think ultimately it makes a lot of sense for him. As much as I enjoyed his videos, and I know you guys did too, his bread and butter is gaming, hence Levelcap Gaming. And arguably I know Airsoft Gaming also crosses over into that world, but for him, he can sit at home and crank out 1 or 2 videos on a Saturday that he's out actually filming, and he can control the outcome. He has good skill, he's good at what he does, he can go in there and play these games until he gets a good montage or a series or a couple games in a row where he did a good job, and present those to you so it's entertaining. Airsoft, it's a ton of variables. I mean, you guys know this. Cheating seems to be on the up, and I hate to say it, whether it's lack of education on the newer players, a little ego on some of the older players, a combination of that. But everybody knows, you go to your local field, you know there's that 1 or 2 or 3 guys that are gonna cheat. And sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less, but there always seems to be those people. And that does affect the outcome if you're trying to film a video, especially at like a local field, not like a big milsim op where there's a story behind it, and get something that's good. I mean, you put a couple rounds into somebody and then they bounce off and then they're like, oh, you didn't get me, and run off. I mean, that can be frustrating. So yeah, I can really understand where he's coming from. It's sad. I enjoyed his videos. I'd love to see, maybe I was hoping to get a chance to play with him one of these times, especially since I'm in SoCal right now. But I do wish him the best, and I'm still gonna watch his gaming videos. Mystery Riddle writes, does using used BBs in a cyclone grenade bad for the grenade? You know, I'm always against using used BBs in an airsoft gun. However, in an airsoft grenade, as long as they are not dirty and things like that. So let's say you've maybe like loaded them in a mag and then you dumped them back out of a mag and they've got some marks and stuff on them. Especially if you, I don't know if you noticed, a lot of the gas blowback magazines will kind of leave scuffs on your BB, especially if you have to unload them one at a time. It's not exactly the best situation. Unlike a high cap, you can pour them out and they're totally fine to put back in the bag. Those kind of used BBs, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, you're not like having to worry about accuracy, and they just kind of, on a cyclone grenade or a tornado, they just either get sped load into like a tube or they just get dumped in. Now, if they've hit the dirt and they've got grass and chunks of goodness knows what in it, then I would say definitely not. You don't want to introduce that into any system, especially even a grenade. They have, you want to keep them lubed correctly. There's actually gaskets in there. There's green gas. I mean, there are some systems inside of a grenade that need to stay clean and smooth and operational. But if you guys are just wanting to have some you've kind of dumped out, put back in a couple different times, then heck yeah, go for it. Well guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. I feel like that needs like horns and dun, dun, dun. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like in my mind I have that sound effect playing. There's a lot of weird things going on in my mind. But anyway, speaking of weird things and quirky humor, I have a great video this week for you, and it is from the channel Bernie X. And you guys may already follow this one. It's a kind of an airsoft comedy channel from across the pond over in Europe. And this one is a continuation of their Airsoft versus Nerf series. And this is Airsoft versus Nerf 3, where they follow a group of younger players that are into Nerf versus older players that are into Airsoft, and kind of tell this story. At first I thought it was just kind of a quirky one-off, but now that they've really dove into the whole everything behind this and developing the characters, I think this is going to continue to be a great series. And from the look of the number of views, which is almost racking up that 5 million view mark as the time of me sharing this with you guys, definitely is getting some good buzz around the internet. So guys, if you haven't checked it out, definitely give it a look. It's Bernie X. Channel's definitely worth subscribe to if you like a little humor around the airsoft kind of things. And as always, I'll have a link here where you can just click the image here of the video, or down in the description below to watch the whole thing. Well guys, again, thank you for hanging out with me this week and enjoying this time we have here on Mondays. And like I said at the beginning, just put your question below and I do go through and read every single one, and it'll get on a future show. If it's good, trust me, it may take a few weeks to get there because I get so many good ones, but I do remember it. Be persistent. Every single week, put those questions up. Also, check out the web store. Got some patches up there if you guys are into Airsoftology swag or just some Airsoft lifestyle stuff. I've got a lot of things going on the web store. So, and I'll have a link in the description below, and of course over here in the corner if you guys want to check out that to go see what we have for offering and support the channel. But guys, until next week, go out and have some fun, play some Airsoft. No matter what you do though, call your freaking hits.